Horrorfied, the show where we talk about all the things that go bump in the night. I'm your host Joshua Halstead, and today we're ranking the Halloween franchise, all of them, including the remakes. So let's just get started because there are a lot of Halloween movies. At number 10, we got Halloween 2, the remake. This film is really bad, unwatchable bad. Some of these films in the Halloween franchise are awful, but they're fun awful, so you can enjoy watching them. I will never watch this film again. It is so painful to watch. The only scene in it worth watching is the scene with Weird Al Yankovic, which makes no sense for the film, but it's fun. But yeah, this whole film doesn't make sense. It doesn't feel like a regular slasher film. It doesn't feel like a Halloween film. It certainly does not feel like any kind of logical film. It feels like Rob Zombie took a lot of acid. At number 9, we have Halloween Resurrection. This is so bad. So it's direct. The director, Rick Rosenthal, actually worked on the franchise earlier on and made some of the better installments. But boy, is this film atrocious. A large portion of this film, for seemingly no reason, is shot found footage style. The acting is atrocious, and it's filled with a bunch of super dated pop culture references from the early thousands. Not to mention the way that they deal with Laurie Strode in the beginning of this film. It's just absolutely atrocious, and it includes a scene where Busta Rhymes karate kicks Michael Myers. It's really bad. At number 8, we have Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch really is not as bad as people make it out to be. It's still not good. The idea was originally to have it be sort of a series of anthologies, a bunch of stories that are disconnected except for that they take place on Halloween, which is an interesting concept, and it's kind of what the Cloverfield franchise is doing now, a bunch of non-connected stories that are only kind of vaguely connected by a similar theme. Except for here's the problem. Halloween 3 isn't very good. If you were going to do that, and you were going to do that from the beginning, you could make a case for that and make the franchise work. But both of the first two Halloween films are about Michael Myers, and they both take place within 2 days of each other. So then Halloween 3 comes out, and everyone expects it to be Michael Myers, and there's no Michael Myers. And on top of the fact that there's no Michael Myers, it's really not that enjoyable of a film to watch in the first place. So it doesn't feel like a Halloween film, especially once the rest of the franchise brings back Michael Myers, and it really isn't that enjoyable to watch in the first place. At number 7, we have Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. This film exists. No, it's fun. This is, I think, from here out, which the films in the franchise that are at least enjoyable to watch, even if they're not great. And this is not, by any means, a great film. It's actually kind of a bad film, but it's a fun, bad film. It has Paul Rudd in a really weird performance, but he's not bad. And it's a really enjoyable film. They brought back Laurie Strode. Look, it's not a great film, but it is fun, and it feels very similar to the late 90s, early 2000s slasher films that, I watched when I first got into horror films, modern horror films. And if you grew up in the 90s or early 2000s, you're probably going to feel a bit of nostalgia towards this era of filmmaking, so you'll probably enjoy The Curse of Michael Myers, even though it's not amazing. Up next is Halloween 5. It's fine. I wanted it to be really good. I loved number 4. I thought it was really good. And number 4 leaves off this really, really good cliffhanger. And so you're sort of expecting that number 5 is going to pick up there and it's going to tell this really unique, interesting story. But fans complained about the ending of number 4, so we didn't get the cool, fun twist. Instead, we got Michael Myers resurrecting from the dead again, going after them, only this time the niece is mute. It's fine, it's fun, but it's not anywhere near as good as the other films in the franchise. At number 5, we have Halloween, the remake. Rob Zombie is a director who is kind of hit or miss me. Sometimes I think his work is really fun and inventive, and sometimes I think it's Halloween too. But the first Halloween that he did is actually pretty good. It captures a lot of the spirit of the original, even if it is a bit more brutal than necessary. There are a lot of problems with it from a Halloween film standpoint in the regard that it gives so much backstory on the history of Michael Myers, the character, that it kind of takes away from the mystery and the creepiness of the shape. However, if you set that aside, it is certainly one of the better to watch and better made Halloween films. At number 4, we have Halloween, number 4, The Return of Michael Myers. This is the one that introduced Danielle Harris. Danielle Harris is a scream queen of yore. Everybody loves Danielle Harris. If they're a horror film fanatic. She's been in the genre for a long time, and all that's really important. But this is the film that really introduced her. She plays Michael Myers' niece, and she does a really, really good job in this film. She's actually a surprisingly good child actress. And on top of that, the story is actually really inventive. It feels very much like a true sequel to the original Halloween film. Very similar style and feel. However, it has a really interesting twist that's really well executed. And it has some really interesting imagery to complement the story that they're trying to tell. And number 3 is Halloween H20. Halloween H20 is the first one that really had Laurie Strode as a main character coming back in a film that feels similar to the original franchise. Now, don't get me wrong, it definitely has lots of things to remind you that it's definitely made in the 90s, but it doesn't really take away from the fact that it still does feel like a true Halloween sequel. Laurie Strode actually acts like Laurie Strode in this one. Jamie Lee Curtis clearly actually wants to be there and is enjoying herself. There's some really good suspenseful scenes. It's overall a really enjoyable film. And number 2, Halloween 2, the original. The original Halloween 2 is a flawed film. It is, but it's a really fun film. And it's actually still a well-made film. It picks up exactly where Halloween left off, and it tells a story essentially the next day as Laurie's in the hospital. Weirdly enough, this is actually from Rick Rosenthal, who did Halloween Resurrection. But this is a really enjoyable film. It's well made, it's clever, it's creepy. I will say it feels weird to have all the gore in the second Halloween film because the Halloween franchise isn't really known for its gore. And it's even weirder when you find out that that's actually the contribution that John Carpenter made to the film. And Rick Rosenthal actually originally did not have all of that blood and gore in there. But yeah, it's a really enjoyable film. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. And there is a fully restored Blu-ray out there. And number 1, of course, is the OG, the 1979 Halloween. There's no better slasher film. In my opinion, it is the OG slasher film, the best slasher film, period. End of discussion. The characters are three-dimensional, the scares are good, things are suggested instead of outright shown in cheesy fashion. It holds up incredibly well, and Tony Moran is 100% the best Michael Myers. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Have a great day.